Hi, welcome back to this mini-series answering 6 questions about spiritual gifts that are found, the answers are found in 1 Corinthians 12 verses 4 to 11. And we're looking now at the fourth question. And the fourth question is this: can a believer be giftless? Is it possible for a believer to not have a spiritual gift? Is that possible? Because I don't know about you, but for a long time I didn't know what my spiritual gift was. I would hear other people talk about their gifts, but I didn't know what my gift was. And I think many in the church find themselves, they'll look at the preacher, or they'll look at a small group leader, or a Sunday school teacher, or an elder, or some sort of pastor, and they'll think, oh, those people are gifted, but I'm just little old me. I don't have a spiritual gift. And so they begin to wonder, is it possible that you can be a believer and to be giftless, to not have a spiritual gift? Well, Paul answers that question, and he answers it in verse 7 again. This is 1 Corinthians 12, verse 7. Paul writes, to each one is given the manifestation of the Spirit for the common good. Remember, manifestation of the Spirit is Paul's definition of what spiritual gifts are. And he says, to each one. To each one. So Paul is pretty clear here. If you are a believer, if you are a follower of Jesus, you've been born again, the Spirit of the living God has come and dwells within you. If you are a believer, you have at least one spiritual gift. It's true. You may not know what your gift is, but that doesn't negate the fact that you have a gift. So it's very important that we understand this. If you are a believer, you have at least one spiritual gift. And it's so important that we understand, because the rest of that passage says that the reason you have that gift is for the common good, to build up others in the church. So it's critical. If you're watching this and you don't know what your gift is, let me encourage you. You need to find out what your gift is. Spend time with the Lord. Ask Him, what is my spiritual gift? Begin to get around other believers and ask them and say, hey, what do you think? What do you think my spiritual gift is? You need to find out. And the reason you need to find out is the church cannot be built up the way it's designed to be built up if you watching this video right now, if you do not know what your gift is and you're not actively using it to encourage, build up, and for the common good of your church family is weaker than it could be and it should be. I want to encourage you. Please, 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 do not think to yourself, well, I'm just little old me. I'm just sitting in the pew. I'm not really doing anything. If I have a gift, I don't really know what it is. But they've got people who can do the rest of the stuff. No, the church needs you. The church needs you. Now, when Paul writes in Ephesians 4, it's just so interesting. He says this: Jesus gave apostles, prophets, evangelists, shepherds, and teachers. Why? To equip the saints, that's believers, to equip the saints for the work of ministry, for building up the body of Christ, until we all attain to the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, to mature manhood and womanhood, to the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ. So follow me. The reason we have leaders, the reason we have apostles, prophets, evangelists, shepherds, teachers, the reason we have teachers is to equip everyone in the church to minister. So I hope that you're hearing me on this. If you are in the body of Christ, the body actually needs you to minister. And Paul's going to talk about this later in chapter 12, and I'll get to that in a couple of videos. But it's so important that you understand you are needed. Your gift is needed. It's important. There are people who need to experience the grace of God through the gift that you have. So it's so important. If you're a believer, you have a spiritual gift, and it's important that you understand, what is my gift? How do I use it for the good of those around me? So I want to encourage you, pray. Talk to those that are in community with you. Just ask them, hey, what do you think my spiritual gift is? If you have a relationship with your pastor or your elders, go to them. Ask them to pray for you and to discover what your gift is. But it kind of makes me think of Spider-Man. I love comic books. I love superheroes, and it's kind of like, in in pretty much every superhero movie, if you have a character who got bit by a spider or somehow has received these superhuman strength or these superpowers, there's this moment where, and I'm remembering the Spider-Man movies, where Spider-Man is like climbing up on the wall and he's not really good at it yet, and he falls down, and then he's trying to leap from one building to another, and he's a little bit nervous. And so many times for us, it should feel a little bit like that. Like, I've been gifted with something even greater than a superhero power, right? I mean, this is a display of God himself in my life. So there's a little bit of that sense of awe and wonder. It's like, what is my gift? What should I be doing? And it may feel a little bit like you don't really know how to use this. That's why community is so important, that you have people around you to encourage you and to help you grow in your gifting. So I encourage you to talk to your pastor, talk to your elders, talk to a small group or Sunday school class, and begin to ask the question, hey, what do you think my spiritual gift is? And get around people that will help you grow in that gift. So this answers the fourth question, which is, can a believer be giftless? And the answer is no. If you are a believer, follower of Jesus with the Spirit of God inside of you, you have a spiritual gift. And with this gift comes great responsibility, right? To use that gift for others. So come back next time. In our next video, we'll be answering the fifth question on spiritual gifts. We'll see you then.